What's up, everyone? Today's the 11th of January, 2024. We're going to talk about Jamie Dimon today, and he's still throwing a temper tantrum. He's upset that Bitcoin is getting so much shine. He's a hater. You guys can see from Business Insider, the title of the article, JPMorgan's Jamie Dimon slangs Bitcoin as worthless. It has no value and a tool for, look at it, criminals, and warns a recession could hit this year. This dude hates on Bitcoin so much, it's ridiculous. Now, why would he hate on Bitcoin so much? Like, what did Bitcoin do to him? Or what is Bitcoin trying to do to him that he doesn't want to have happen? Because apparently it has to be something for a billionaire banker who runs into the realm of fiat currency. Think about Bitcoin and what it's going to do to destabilize his industry. If you have Bitcoin, why do you need fiat currency? Bitcoin is decentralized. And look at that face right there. Isn't that amazing? That's how nervous he looks that Bitcoin is going to dominate and eventually take over his position of control. That's what it's all about. It's about control. And Jamie Dimon doesn't want to relinquish that control. He wants to have this fiat monetary system that's currently in place to continue to run. Like, think about it. Everyone on the planet is being controlled by this monetary system. Why can we not create another monetary system that creates a little freedom for everybody who walks on the planet? Why are we controlled and have to use fiat currency? Who told us that we had to use fiat currency? Who are the people who sits at the top that tells us that you got to use this paper to transact and buy and sell? It's people like Jamie Dimon. He's the one that sits at the top of this system. It's his bank, it's his money, it's his rules, it's his regulations that he controls that makes us go to work every day, that makes us take out our plastic cards or cash and utilize it every day. They reign supreme in that system. So of course he would come through and tell you that Bitcoin is worthless. Of course he would come through and tell you that Bitcoin is being used by criminals. But I mean, let's think about this though. What about fiat though? Do not criminals utilize fiat currency? Like when they run the drugs trade, I mean, are they not utilizing fiat currency before Bitcoin was ever invented? Cash was king. Like when you see these drug busts, they always show you what? Cash. They don't ever show you Bitcoin. You don't ever read an article and say that there was a major drug bust and the particular police received or grabbed $100 million worth of Bitcoin. You don't ever see that. But what you do see is that they grabbed a whole kilo worth of cocaine in the market, and they also have some guns and about $600 million in cash. And then they show you a picture. That is his system. Like the cash, that's what he's talking about. But he wants that reader, he wants those that listen to him think that is Bitcoin. As to why people are using, he want his listeners to think that Bitcoin is the cause of all the criminal activity. Like, just think about that. You don't think fiat enables criminal activities? Like, this is the internet. There's a lot of receipts here on the internet that will prove that what he's talking about, he's trying to throw shade on Bitcoin when he needs to be throwing that same shade on fiat currency. Criminal activities? Are you serious? You think criminals, which they do, would prefer to have Bitcoin over cash? See, that tells you right now that since criminals uses both means of a medium of exchange, Bitcoin and cash, he's upset that the criminals are choosing Bitcoin than they are cash. That's why he's getting upset. That's why he's trying to tell everyone that is worthless. He's trying to get you to go back to cash. He wants you to use cash. because that's where his bread and butter is. Jamie Dimon has delivered a fresh tirade against Bitcoin and warned investors not to rule out a recession this year. I've always said that Bitcoin doesn't have value. Ooh, are you serious? Listen to what he's trying to say. Bitcoin doesn't have value? Let me ask you a question then, Jamie. Does fiat have value? Does it? This is what he told Fox Business. The actual use cases are sex trafficking, tax avoidance, money laundering, terrorism financing. It's not just people buying and selling Bitcoin. All of that he just mentioned, fiat is in the same ballpark. People use cash for sex trafficking, try to do tax avoidance, money laundering. What do you think that is? Have you seen all of this white collar crime? It's not being done in Bitcoin. It's being done in cash. Terrorism financing. I think he's telling us that with Bitcoin being used for these criminal activities, that is taken away from his business. Because before Bitcoin, how else will criminals use a medium of exchange? It was with cash. It was with fiat. So now he's sweating. This man is sweating bullets now because Bitcoin is now on the scene. Cryptocurrencies are popular in part because they can be traded anonymously and transactions are difficult to trace. Dimon has previously dismissed Bitcoin as a hyped up fraud, more hate, and a pet rock, more hate, derided it and other crypto tokens as Ponzi schemes, more hate, and declared the government should shut them down, should close them down, more hate. The government can't shut down Bitcoin. If he shuts down Bitcoin, then he has to shut down the whole internet. Bitcoin is a global phenomenon, and it doesn't have rams under one jurisdiction, meaning that one government cannot control it. Bitcoin is here to stay. That's why he's nervous. That's why he hates his owners so much, because he spent his career propping up this fiat monetary system. And when something new comes on board and you know that it's a threat and that you have no countermeasures to keep it from impeding in your area, at some point you will have to come through and say, all right, you got it. Bitcoin won. First they talk about you. First they hate on you. Then what would they do next? Because don't think that fiat is just going to lay down and just take the hits. No, it's not. It's going to try to do something else more drastic in order to rein in, or at least attempt to keep their control. These are two separate factions trying to get control of the economic system. Fiat has been in control of the system for an extremely long time. Well, now Bitcoin is on the street. Bitcoin is now on the block, running up the block, calling the shots now. It's trying to enlarge his territory. And you think fiat just going to sit back and take it when it sees it coming up the block? No, it's going to try to do something else too. So that is why you need to get prepared for whatever this economic system is going to try to throw at us. That's just my point. I'm done. Give me yours. Make sure you maintain the profitability. And as always, trade different.